Hello everyone. I hope you're all doing well today. I am Suzy Schock, starting just a little bit early because I wanted to introduce a couple props to you. So if you'd like, a nice blanket might be helpful for class. Blanket, throw a blanket on your couch or a little pillow on the couch. Just for some of the seated poses and maybe some of your forward folds, that kind of thing. So maybe you want to grab a couple that are around you before we begin, and whenever you're ready, we'll just do a nice comfortable cross-legged seat on your mat or on your towel. I hope you are enjoying this beautiful day, and I'm really thankful that you're here. We're going to have some fun today. We'll be doing just some easy stretching, some really nice breathing. We're not going to go crazy with any of our yoga postures, but we will do enough that you feel kind of rejuvenated and everything's stretched out, and hopefully some of the congestion move through in your body. So again, let's find a comfortable cross-legged seat. I'm just going to sit on my blanket, especially if you have tighter hips. Sitting on a blanket is nice because it just helps kind of tip the pelvis in place so your knees then can rest, or you can put a couple props under both knees, blankets or pillows, whatever works. So again, for those who are just joining us, I'm Suzy Schock. I'm the founder of Pure Yoga, and I feel really grateful to be here. So let's sit down, bringing palms facing down onto your knees, sitting up tall, making sure sitting bones are evenly grounded, and then we'll just close your eyes. So this is round 2 for me. I did a morning class already. So sometimes you have a little bit of coffee in you and you need to relax a little bit more, fluttering of the eyes. So I always tell people just gaze down at the mat, let the eyelids follow, and then just find a little bit of stillness in the body. So I first want to just lengthen out your breath a little bit. So sipping the air in through the nose and allowing the breath to move out through the nose. So the lips are sealed gently. Separate your teeth so your jaw can relax. Take a couple swallows if that feels good to relax the throat and the neck, the shoulders. And breathing in through the nose and out through the nose is our yogic breath. It's called Ujjayi Pranayama, and it's a little constriction in the back of the throat, so it's an audible breath. But the reason being you're going in through the nose, out through the nose with that little constriction in the throat is so that you can slow the breathing down and monitor the breath as it goes in and out. And it's a much slower, more meditative breath. So let's try to lengthen the inhales, and then pausing at the top of the inhale, holding the oxygen in the lungs. And when you need to exhale, just very slowly ease the breath out. And then just keep going and keep going and keep going until you feel as if your lungs are emptied. And then sip the air in, almost like you're sipping it through a straw, but it's through the nose, filling the lungs to capacity. And then slowly ease the breath out, little by little by little. And just doing simple breathing techniques like this, where you're slowing the breath down and you're observant of the breath, can take the blood pressure down, calm the central nervous system, and allowing you to relax a little bit more. So let's take 3 more even breaths. And as you're doing this, taking a little inventory of the body. It's interesting because when you are in your day-to-day practice of whatever you're doing, work with children, we ignore our body so much, and this stillness and breathing really allows you to zero in on how things are feeling. If there's any congestion or discomfort, pain, hopefully throughout the class we can help you to alleviate some of that, or at least understand where it's coming from. All right, with palms facing down on knees, let's slowly bring some movement with the breath. So inhaling, your spine is nice and stacked, and on exhale, we're just going to circle the torso around. So the exhale is when the belly's coming down towards the thighs, and you're in a little compression. And inhale is when you stack the spine. And exhale, bring it around again. And inhale, stack the spine. So it's a really slow, even movement. And you can slowly feel things waking up as well. Maybe the lumbar spine is giving you a little feedback. That's where I hold my congestion, is in my low back and my hips. And right now I'm feeling that yesterday I sat too much. So this will feel really good. Let's take one more big circle around. And then coming back to center and stacking the spine, full breath. Switching directions. Exhale as you bring belly down to the thighs, slowly stacking the spine. And exhale. All is well. Good. What if you went through every day just remembering all is well? Let's do 2 more circles. One more. Good. Stacking the spine nice and tall. Doing a couple shoulder shrugs. So let's first bring the shoulders forward and bring them up, and then back, and then down. Now let's link the breath with that. Exhale as shoulders come forward, up. Inhale as they come back and down. Big exhale. One more. Now let's reverse that. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Bring them up to the ears, forward and down. Inhale as you're opening, squeezing shoulder blades together. Exhale as you're squeezing them forward, down. One more. Inhale. Good. Now just reverse it one more time. Lift up, back, down, and open. Nice. All right, let's take a couple twists. So inhale as we stack the spine, and then exhale, twisting to the right. So left hand comes to the right knee, your belly comes through the shoulders, and finishing with the gaze. Pausing and holding here, just little twist, little compression on the belly, good for the intestinal tract. Inhale, let's bring it back to the center, and then exhale, right hand to left knee, belly comes through, shoulders and gaze. This also gives you a nice stretch to the low lumbar, a little side body stretch. Good. Inhale, bring it back to the center. Let's do it one more time. Exhale, twist. Inhale, back to the center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, back to the center. Deep breath in. Let's get some side body bends. So right hand will ground, left hand will come up and overhead. Good. Just pause and hold this space. Breathing in, breathing out. Could be here, could be here. Good. Then inhale back to the center. Exhale, side body bend. Finding a little length and reaching over. Good. And again, inhale, center. Exhale, side body. Inhale, center. Exhale, side body stretch. Good. Inhale, center. Another shoulder shrug. Bring the shoulders up, back, and down. Inhale and exhale. Let's open up the arms now like you're making goalpost arms. And then drawing right elbow under left, grabbing opposite shoulders. Take a breath in and then squeeze the triceps down to the chest. Let the chin follow. Long, deep breath in and out. Good. Slowly draw your gaze up. Bring the elbows up to follow and just notice how the stretch changes. You can stay just as you are, or you can double bind through the forearms. Good. One more breath. And then release it open. Open up through the chest. Full breath in, and this time left elbow comes under right, grabbing opposite shoulder. Squeeze the triceps down, let the chin follow. Good, gently gazing back up. Elbows come up, staying just as you are. Or maybe wrap at the forearms. Pause and breathe. Perfect, gentle release. Opening up the chest. Bringing hands down onto the knees. Let's do a cat and cow spine sitting. So inhale as you lift up, opening up the chest, opening up the throat, gazing to the sky, and then exhale. Carve out the belly, tuck the belly in, tuck the chin in, holding onto the knees. Feel the stretch all the way through the upper back, the thoracic spine. Inhale, lift up and open. Exhale, back. One more time. Inhale, lift. And exhale, back. Good. Inhale, lifting up. And we'll remove the blanket if you have it. Coming on to hands and knees, taking a tabletop pose. So I'm going to turn to the side here. Actually, first, let's start with child's pose. So bringing the knees to the outside edges of the mat, big toes to touch, and let sitting bones reach back towards the heels. Fingertips are going to reach forward. Now, if that doesn't feel good on the shoulders, you can always bring arms out to those goalpost arms again. And feel free if you want to rock the hips side to side a little bit, opening up the inner thighs, opening up the hips and the low back. Couple more breaths moving side to side. And then just finding a little bit of stillness. So coming back to the center. Again, if it feels okay, reaching fingertips long and overhead, breathing in, and then slowly melt the forehead down to the mat. You could also put the arms down to your side as well, just listening to the shoulders. So with eyes remaining closed, once again, do a little internal inventory of how things are feeling as you're moving a little bit more into breathing, long, deep breaths. And then honor this throughout class. Maybe make those little adjustments to the poses so that they feel a little better. All right, one more breath in child's pose. And then gently pulling yourself up into tabletop. So this time hands are under shoulders, knees are under hips, and we'll do cat and cow from a tabletop pose. So on the in-breath, the belly's going to release to the mat, the chest opens, and the tailbone and the head reach up towards the sky. And on the exhale, the tailbone will tip, you'll carve out the belly, and the chin comes to the chest. Good, let's inhale, opening up. And exhale, finding that cat spine. So continue your movement with your breath. Another thing we're going to be doing throughout our class today is called nerve flossing. And again, I kind of laugh at that name, but oftentimes people have overstimulated or discomfort through the nerves, like the sciatic nerve. Many people have heard of that, and it's kind of inflammation through the nerve, and it's irritated. So by doing some of these gentle movements, we're trying to bring some of the stress and the strain out of it, and create some lack of ease through that area. So I will show you the postures. We'll do the first one right now for the wrists. So with the wrists, what you're going to do in tabletop, you're just going to flip onto the top of one hand. So my left hand, the fingertips are going to face towards my knees, and I'm on the top of the hand, while the right hand, my palm is grounded. So breathing into that for a minute. Not a minute, a couple of breaths actually. Good, and let's just switch. So the left palm will ground, and we'll go onto the top of the right hand. Right fingertips are facing my knees right now. So what we're stretching right now is the median nerve, and that's where people oftentimes feel during carpal tunnel. Let's just switch through the hands and through the forearms. Good, and let's switch again. And one more time, switch again. Breathing into that little gentle stretch. Perfect. Back up to tabletop pose. Now we're going to thread the needle. So right hand will stay grounded. Left hand's going to reach up to the sky, so we're just getting a really nice deep opening through the chest, through the pectoral muscle, and then maybe do some big circles, reaching up and around. And again, movement with the breath. So exhale when it comes down, inhale when you get into the biggest part of the move, and then exhale. One more time around, and then let's switch directions. Good, and now reverse. Perfect. One more time around. And then reach it nice and high to the sky. Get as big as you can. Inhale. And on the exhale, we'll take a little twist. And we're going to thread it through. And then inhale, lift up and open. And then exhale, thread it through. And inhale, open. 2 more times. Exhale, bring it through. Inhale, open. This time, exhale, bring it through. And then ground the shoulder, the side of the head. And then bring the right hand over the left. So I'll twist so I'm facing your way and you can see what I'm doing. So there's options here now depending on how things feel through the shoulders. You can stay with hand over hand. You can reach the top hand to the sky, take a little half bind, opening up through the chest. Or you can bring the top hand up and over and feel a nice little stretch through the shoulder girdle. All right, let's take a couple more breaths here. Perfect. Let's slowly unravel the pose so you're back in tabletop pose. Nice, and take just one cat and cow, neutralize the spine. So in breath, belly comes to the mat, head and tailbone to the sky. Exhale, reverse that. Inhale back into your neutral spine, tabletop. This time left hand will stay planted, right will reach high to the sky, full breath in, and then big circles. Sweeping it around and around. Movement with the breath. You can always tell when you're moving beyond your range of motion when the breath gets shortened or in distress at all. Let's reverse that. And that's when you want to back out a little bit or find ease and comfort back in the pose. Good, one more time. Breathe it around and then nice and high to the sky. Full breath. And then exhale, sweep it through. Thread the needle. Little twist and then reach it high. And then exhale. Bring it high. And exhale. One more time. Bring it high. And exhale. Bring it through and then slowly let the shoulder rest, side of the head. Find your comfort, and then lifting the top hand if you want to take that half bind, or if you want to extend it up and over. Two more breaths. And one more. Beautiful. Reground the hand. Unravel your spine. Grounding both hands down to the earth. Cat and cow. Inhale, open up the chest. Exhale, carve out the belly. Good, inhale, back. Nice. All right, from here, let's shift forward into a modified plank. And then bending at the elbows, tucking tucking triceps into the chest, lowering all the way down to the mat. Thumbs are brushing the low ribs. The tops of my feet are pressing down onto the mat. So rather than just resting the knees, my quadriceps are going to fire, my glutes are going to fire, and my lower abdominals are going to fire. And on the in-breath, I'm going to lift to a little baby cobra. And exhale, I'm going to lower down. And inhale, I'm going to lift to a baby cobra. And exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift to a baby cobra. Maybe hover the hands this time, so a nice little spine strengthener, waking up the core. Holding here, 3, 2, 1. Lowering down, right cheek to the mat. So when you think of your core muscles, it's not just abdominals. The spine also supports the core. So we're warming up abdominals and core muscles before we move into the standing sequence. Good. All right, let's come back to the center. And this time you're going to come onto forearms. So we're going to have all the same activations. My quadriceps are firing, my glutes are firing, and my belly's pulled in nice and tight. Beautiful. So right now we're going to do some of that nerve flossing. All right, so on the inhale, you're going to gaze up and then lift the right leg. And on the exhale, lower the right leg down and tuck the chin. And inhale, lift, gaze forward, lifting the leg. Exhale, lower down. So just continue on with that. Inhale every time you lift and gaze forward. And exhale every time you lower and chin to chest. So right now, the nerve flossing we're working on is the sciatic nerve, which runs from the low lumbar all the way down the back of the hip or the glute, down the leg to the foot actually. And we're also working on the femoral nerve, which runs down the front of the leg. Sometimes you get that discomfort through the quadricep into the knee. Good. Lower it down. And then switch sides. Left leg's going to lift. I'm gazing forward. And now I'm lowering down. Again, my quadricep is nice and firm and active. My glute is active, and my belly is nice and firm as well. And movement is always with the breath. Let's do 2 more. Lifting it up and lowering down. 1 more. Lifting it up and lowering it down. Beautiful. Ground the hands. Let's pull back and find a child's pose. Take a breath here and just a good stretch. So sitting bones reaching back towards the heels, arms extended up and overhead. And then slowly pulling your way into a tabletop again. So what I want you to do now, we're going to do some more spine and core strengthening. So I want the belly firmed, pulled in nice and tight. So when you think of the lower abdominals, if your hands were on your hip bones and fingertips right over the low belly, that's your transverse abdominis. If you coughed, you'd feel it activate. That's what I want pulled in nice and tight. All right, so from here, let's gently lift right arm. And left leg can go right behind you. Toes can be curled under, or you can lift it up so it's parallel with the mat. So you decide to your comfort what feels better. But having the lower abdominals firm and the glutes firm, you have a lot of stability. So let's take an inhale, and then exhale, bring elbow to knee. Inhale, get nice and long. Exhale, bringing elbow to knee. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, stretch it long. Exhale, elbow to knee. 1 more time. Inhale, bring it nice and long. Exhale, elbow to knee. Just hold. Breathing in, breathing out, stretching it long, and lowering it down. Now, neutralize the spine. Let's take a breath in with our cow pose and a breath out with our cat spine. 1 more time. Inhale, open to cow pose, and exhale, find your cat spine. Neutral spine again, lower abdominals tucked in, glutes are firm. I'm going to extend my right leg and left arm. You can stay as you are, or you can lift the leg parallel with the mat. Just pause and hold. Find your stability first. Inhale, and then exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, come nice and long. Exhale, elbow to knee. Let's do 2 more. Deep breath. Elbow to knee. Let's do 1 more. Inhale. Exhale, elbow to knee. Pause and hold. Breathing in, breathing out. Stretch it nice and long. And now lower it down, cat and cow. Inhale, find your cow pose. Exhale, find your cat spine. 1 more time. Inhale. And exhale. I'm going to lead you into downward facing dog, and many people have heard what down dog is before. If you need to circle the wrists out a little bit, feel free while I'm showing you. So for down dog, your pointer finger and thumb are going to face the front of your mat or the front of your towel, and then the rest of the fingers are going to spread out from there. And hands are going to plant shoulder distance apart. Then I'll step out into my high plank pose. My feet are hip distance, and now I'm going to lift high into that inverted V or downward facing dog. So I'll show you what it looks like from the side. Hips are nice and high. Now if you have a rounding to the spine, try bending the knees and then bring the spine or the belly back towards the thighs. I would rather see a nice long spine than straight legs. Doesn't make any difference to me if legs are straight, if heels touch the mat. We're in a nice little inversion here. The head's lower than the heart, so it's a great way to rejuvenate energy by flushing the brain with blood and oxygen, and it's great strengthening for the arms, as you may notice already. So paddling it out, shifting weight, shifting gaze, head hangs heavy. Grounding through the finger pads, so take the weight out of the wrists. Good, and let's inhale our right leg high. And bend the knee, maybe open the hip. Take a minute there, an inner thigh stretch here. For some, this feels great. For others, it's not for you. Find what works. And then slowly square the hips off, bringing knee to nose, and slowly into a low lunge. So you may walk the foot 3 or 4 times to get it to the top of the mat. All right, from hands, we're going to come to fists, right? So fists are now in a neutral position, or wrists are in a neutral position. Grounding fists. Let's inhale and lift the hips. Exhale, ease down and lower, just opening up. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. So you're getting a really great hip flexor stretch to the front leg, or the left leg. A nice little glute stretch to the right. One more time, lift and lower. And then drop the back knee down to the mat. Firming up the glutes, so you're squeezing things into the midline, you're firming up the belly, and you're slowly stacking the spine into a low lunge. Hands could be here, hands could be here, fingertips could be down to the mat. You decide what feels the best to you. And from this posture, we're just going to take a little side body stretch. So I'm going to inhale my left arm high and then reach over to the side. So I'll show you from a front view what that looks like. Again, just diving a little deeper into the hip flexor psoas, right through here, and a little strengthening through the glute. Beautiful. One more breath. And let's bring it back to the center. Inhale. Exhale, fingertips are going to come down to the mat. Take another breath in. And then exhale, we're going to pull the hips back. Toes are going to be pointed, and we're slowly going to flex the toes. And point the toes and come back into your lunge. Good, so pulling back, toes are pointed, toes are flexed. Toes are pointed into the lunge. So a little more nerve flossing. This is wonderful, again, if you have sciatic issues or just sitting too long throughout the day. Good. One more time. Beautiful. Left hand's going to stay grounded now that we're in this lunge, and right hand's going to reach high to the sky. So just a really gentle twist. Pausing and breathing here. You can circle the arm around a little bit more if your shoulders need a little more warming up. Nice, and then reground. I'm going to lift the back knee off the mat. My front foot's going to meet the back. I'm in high plank. You could be on knees. Inhale. Exhale, shift the weight forward, pin the elbows and lower all the way down to the mat. Thumbs brushing the low ribs. We've been here before. Inhale, little cobra. Exhale, lower. Inhale, pull the hips back, child's pose. Exhale, turn or curl the toes under, find downward facing dog. Long breath in. Long, even breath out. We have another side. Inhale, left leg. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. Stay as you are, circle it around. Again, this may not be for everyone, and that's perfect and beautiful. Find your pose that feels good to you. Square the hips off. Knee comes to the nose, bringing it to the top of the mat for low lunge. Remember, we came from hands, we went up to fists. Inhale, let's lift the hips, and exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, lower down. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. One more time. Lift it up and lower it down. When you feel ready, glutes are nice and firm, belly's tucked in. We're going to sweep the arms up and overhead. If that feels good to you, hands could be to the heart, could be to the hips. Side body bending. So I'm going to reach my right hand up and then over to the side. Really awesome stretch through the hip flexor, psoas. Long breath in. Long breath out. One more. Good, and let's bring it back up to the center. Deep breath. Exhale, fingertips down to the mat. Take another breath. Slowly pull the hips back. Toes are pointed. Toes are flexed. Come back into lunge. Pull it back. Toes are pointed. Toes are flexed. Knee can be bent deeply if you need to. This isn't so much about a straight leg. Good. Couple more. Pulling the hips back, toes are pointed, toes are flexed. Nice, one more time. Pull it back, toes are flexed. Grounding the foot, ground the hands. Front foot meets the back. I'm in high plank. I could be in modified plank, both are perfect. Shift the weight forward. I'm squeezing elbows into the torso, tops of the feet pressed down. Tapping my nose, inhale, open baby cobra. Exhale, lower. Good, inhale, pull back child's pose. And exhale, curl the toes under, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. All right, now let's roll up onto all 10 toes. Stretch the arches of the feet. So bend the knees and bring the belly back way towards the thighs. Deep stretch. Feet come to the top of the mat, right behind the hands. Inhale, inch the hands up the thighs. Knees can be bent generously. And then on the exhale, just fold. Bring the belly to the thighs and let the rest of the torso curl over the thighs. You can do this in your chair as well. And again, benefits to this, just replenishing blood and oxygen to the brain. Gives you more energy. It also is an awesome stretch to the spine. So from here, you can stay with hands dangling to the mat, or you can interlace hands in front of you or behind you. Ragdoll pose. So if you think of a ragdoll, the torso is just hanging here. Couple more breaths. Nice, hands released to the mat. Open to a halfway lift so your spine is long. Anchoring and rooting down through the feet, reverse the swan dive all the way up into what we call Tadasana mountain pose, or just coming to stand and then hands come to heart center. All right, let's get ourselves grounded now. So spreading the feet out evenly onto the earth, the four corners of the feet, between the big toe mount, the little toe, and the two corners of the heel. Then I'm slowly going to draw my kneecaps up, bring it around into the glutes, firming the glutes, and then zipping up the core. So I'm lifting up, back, and down, nice and tall, hands to heart center. Now we're going to go into what's really called the vinyasa. So again, it's linking breath to movement, or sun salutation A, and that's what links all the standing poses. So you've done all this already. We're just going to link it all together as one. So you're at the top of the mat, and I'm going to turn to the side. Inhale, sweep arms up and overhead. Exhale, swan dive and fold forward. Bent knees are great. Inhale, find a long spine and a halfway lift. Exhale, ground the hands, stepping back. You're in high plank or modified plank. Shift the weight forward and lower all the way down to the mat. Inhale, open cobra pose. Exhale, lower. Inhale, pull back child's pose. And exhale, downward facing dog. Breathing in. And breathing out. Again, rolling up onto all 10 toes, bend the knees, belly to thighs. Bring your feet behind your hands to the top of the mat. Inhale, open, halfway lift, you're finding some length. And exhale, you're just going to surrender into your forward fold. Grounding the feet, let's inhale, bring it all the way up into standing, Tadasana mountain pose. And hands come back to heart center. Let's do it again. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bent knees, slowly fold. Inhale, open long spine, take a halfway lift. Exhale, ground the hands, step back, toes or knees lower down to the mat. Inhale, open cobra. Exhale. Pull back child's pose. Curling toes under, downward facing dog. Breathe in. And breathe out. Rolling up onto all 10 toes, bend the knees, belly to thighs again. Take yourself to the top of the mat. Inhale, find length. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale all the way up to standing, mountain pose. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to add a little side body bend. So creating a steeple grip, reaching hands up and overhead. Exhale, find a nice side body bend. Pause and hold. Deep breath. Side body bend. Good. Inhale, bring it back to the center. Exhale, side body bend. Find a little length and a little fold. Good. Inhale back to the center. Let's take a little baby back bend. So cactus arms or goalpost arms, lifting up, belly's engaged. Open up the heart. Open up the throat. Good. Coming back to center, arms come down to your side, interlacing opposite elbow or opposite hand. Take a shoulder shrug, opening up the heart space, opening up the chest. And then allow the belly to slowly melt down to the thighs, knees are bent. Take a forward fold with the chest expansion. Long breath in. Long breath out. All is well, all is well, all is well. Good, release hands down to the mat. Doesn't that feel good? Open halfway lift. Ground the hands, step back. Chaturanga. This is actually called Chaturanga Dandasana. Lowering all the way down to the mat. Lifting up and open. Exhale down. Pulling the hips back, child's pose. Curling the toes under, downward facing dog. Long breath in. Really awesome breath out. All right, let's add on. Rolling up into 10 toes, bend the knees, belly to thighs. Let's take it to the top of the mat. Open halfway. Take a nice forward fold. All right, now it's going to be like you're sitting back in your chair and weight goes into the heels. So I'm actually lifting my toes off the mat. And think of the energy coming from the heels up the back of the legs. You're firming the glutes. The glutes are overriding the quadriceps. Right, so we're really squeezing them nice and tight and then zipping up the spine. Hands can be out in front, they can be up and overhead. This is called Utkatasana or chair pose. So inhale to the center. Let's take a gentle twist. Exhale, right arm back, left arm forward. Breathing in. Good, inhale back to the center. And exhale, gentle twist. Left arm back, right arm forward. Good, inhale back to the center. Exhale, hands through the heart, forward fold. Open halfway lift. Ground the hands, stepping back. High to low push up or Chaturanga Dandasana, pinning elbows in, lowering down. Inhale, lift up and open. Exhale, lower. Inhale, pull the hips back, finding child's pose. Exhale, curl the toes under, downward facing dog. All right, inhale, right leg high. Exhale, knee comes to the nose, carve out the belly. Slowly bring the foot back into low lunge. We've been here, we're not dropping down to the bottom knee. We're gonna firm the glutes, squeezing everything into the midline and stack the spine into what's called crescent lunge. Shoulders release from the ears. You can stay as you are. If it feels better and more stable to be on your knee, you're fine here too. Good, if you're okay moving, we're gonna lift and then gently lower, easing back into the lunge. Inhale, lift, straighten the legs. Exhale, lower. Nice. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale, lift. Taking a gentle twist now. Right arm back, left arm forward as you ease back into your lunge. Breathe in and breathe out. Good. Inhale back to the center. Straighten the legs. And exhale, we're going to open the hips into what's called Warrior Two. So all you're doing is grounding the back foot, 45-degree angle. And my front heel is going to line up with the back heel. And your hips in kind of a neutral position. They're not side, they're not center. Good, and then arms come up, out and overhead. Shoulders release from the ears. Perfect. Let's bring palms to the sky, letting the shoulder blades go back and down. And then palms to the floor. And then palms to the sky. And then palms to the floor. One more time, palms to the sky, and palms back down to the mat. And here's where our little nerve flossing comes in again. We're going to bring palms facing the front, and I'm slowly going to bend the right hand forward and the left hand back. And as I'm doing that, my head is going to turn, or ear to the shoulder of my left arm. And then I'm just going to switch. I'm going to fold the hands in the opposite direction and then switch. I know this is a little strange. Again, we're working on that median nerve that runs through the forearms into the hands that oftentimes is the issue for carpal tunnel. One more time. Awesome. All right, bringing head center, palms facing down. Good, let's inhale. Reverse your warrior, getting a side body bend. Exhale, extended side angle. Just 2 breaths here because I'm certain that your front thigh is probably saying hello to you right now. Holding here, 1 breath. One more. Good, now we get to straighten it. Inhale, reverse your triangle. Lift up, get a side body stretch. And then exhale into what's called triangle pose. So you're reaching floor to sky. My feet are in the exact same position. 45-degree angle of the back foot. Good, long breath in, long breath out. And let's flow a little bit. Let's go between reverse warrior and triangle. Excuse me, reverse triangle and triangle. One more time. Reverse and back into triangle. Now if you want to play a little bit, you can take a half bind, really opening up the shoulder. If you want more strengthening, front hand can reach forward. So I'm feeling it right through my obliques. Hold here, 3 and 2. Release that on 1, coming up to star pose. Heels tick in, toes tick out, and then hands come to heart center. We're going to sink down into goddess pose. A little more strengthening here. Thighs are externally rotating, knees are tracking out. Glutes are nice and firm, so I'm going to do just a little glute exercise with you here. So think of the knees soft and then squeeze them back. So you're feeling it right here. Release it and then squeeze it back. And squeeze it back. Squeeze it back and hold. Again, let's squeeze it back. Squeeze it back. Squeeze it back and hold. One more time. Press it back. Press it back. Press it back and hold, hands to heart. This is where you dig into your breath, right? When we're in stressful situations, we breathe. We breathe to move through it. So long, even breath in, long, even breath out. One more time, full breath in. Straighten the legs. All is well. Bring the feet parallel or even slightly pigeon-toed. We're moving into a wide-legged forward fold. So we're going to lift up like we're lifting up and tipping the pelvis like a bowl of water into this fold. So for some, this doesn't feel great, so you can always bend the knees a little bit. Fingertips come down to the mat, or you can stay with hands on hips. Now for me today, I'm going to do a little side lunging because that feels really nice with my inner thighs. Or you can come just into a straight up fold and just allow yourself to hang here, grab outside edges of the feet. Find what works for you, because we have another side, so you can change it up on the other side too. Couple more breaths. Inhale. And exhale. Good, one more. And hands come to hips. Slowly come to rise. Opening warrior 2 to the front of the room. Inhale, let's reverse our warrior. And then exhale, bring the hands down to the mat. You're in low lunge, front foot's going to meet the back. You're in high plank, could be down on knees, lowering all the way to the mat. Inhale, open, up dog, or cobra. Exhale, pull it back. Child's pose. Downward facing dog. Breathing in. Inhale, left leg. Knee comes to the nose. Take a breath. Coming into low lunge. Grounding the feet. Sweeping it all the way up. Good, you can stay as you are, you can drop down to the bottom of the knee, or you can lift and lower with me. So inhale, let's rise. And exhale, ease back into the lunge. Inhale, let's rise. Exhale, ease back down. Inhale, rise. And lower one more time, bring it high. And lower into that twist. Left arm back, right arm forward. Breathing in. Breathing out. Belly coming through, shoulders gaze. Good, let's bring it back to the center. Finding warrior two. I'm going to turn around and face you. Warrior two. Heel lines up with the arch of the back foot. The back foot's turned in 45 degrees. Let's bring the palms to the sky. Palms back down to the mat. Palms to the sky, little rotation. Palms to the mat. One more time. Palms reach down to the mat. Good, now palms are coming forward. The back hand's going to turn in. The front hand's going to turn out. And my head is going to go down bicep or ear to bicep on the left. Good, and then switch. And then switch the hands and switch the head. And then switch. One more time. Good, and switch. Head comes center, palms face the earth. Take an inhale, reverse your warrior, get a little side body bend, and then exhale into extended side angle, 2 breaths. Good, one more. All right, let's reverse our triangle, straighten the front leg. Moving into Trikonasana. Pause and breathe. Good, now let's move with it. Inhale, reverse your triangle. Exhale, Trikonasana, triangle. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, triangle, one more time. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, triangle. Top hand can reach to the sky, you can half bind. Bottom hand can reach forward, a little strengthening. Holding here, 3 and 2. Release it floor to sky on 1. Inhale, sweep it all the way up, star pose. Exhale, sink it down. Goddess pose. Same thing, externally rotate the thighs, knees track out. Good. Let's slowly track it back, track the knees back. Squeeze the glutes, hold. Very little movements. Release, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze and hold. Pause, I know you can feel this. Squeeze it back, pause and hold. One more time. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze and hold. Breathing in and breathing out. One more. Perfect, sweep it all the way up. Bringing feet parallel, swan dive, and fold into your wide-legged forward fold. So again, you could side lunge. You could take a chest expansion here. You could just fold nicely. Now, you'll hear me talk a lot about glute strength or firming up the glutes. And what I have found is a lot of people have low back pain and even knee pain when their glutes aren't very strong. So if you can focus, if you're going to practice yoga more, which I hope you are, focus on your glute strength and your glute activation, I think you will find a difference and a change in your back issues. All right, let's come back to center. Hands come to the hips. We're slowly going to come to rise and open warrior two. And inhale, reverse our warrior. And exhale, take the hands down to the mat. Front foot meets the back. You can be here or on your knees. Shift the weight forward, lower down. Finding cobra. Good, and pulling back. Child's pose. Toes curl under, downward facing dog. Awesome. All right, one breath. And then coming down onto knees. Crossing your legs, pulling your feet through. We'll take a little forward fold before we come all the way down onto the mat. Checking time. There's never, ever enough time, in my opinion, for a full yoga class. All right, toes come back towards the nose. Knees can certainly be bent. Another nice use for this blanket, right? If you have tight hamstrings, blanket under the knees is beautiful. Toes flex back towards your nose. Inhale, lift, and then exhale, find a nice fold. So if you're just moving into a muscle stretch, right, rather than the nerve stretching or the nerve flossing, in a forward fold, you want the quadriceps to be kind of firm so that the hamstrings can lengthen. Quadriceps shorten, hamstrings lengthen. Good, deep breath. If you have a blanket under you, you can certainly just let and your belly's connected to the thighs, then you can move into surrendering the head. Otherwise, keep a nice straight back. One more breath. And let's slowly sit up. Carve out the belly and make your way all the way down to the mat. Knees come into your chest. Give them a nice good squeeze. Let's do a little hip opening now. So we'll start with left foot grounded to the mat and right ankle crossed over left knee. This is called figure 4. So you can stay right there if you're feeling a good stretch through the hips. And if you need to go a little bit deeper, lift the leg off the mat and then you're just grabbing behind the knee. More restorative would be to plant my foot, my lifted foot against the wall, the left foot against the wall right now. Good, a couple more breaths, just as you are. All right, staying as you are or adjusting the hip stretch just a little bit by bringing inner thighs to touch and grabbing the outside of the shins and drawing thighs to the chest. Just changing the stretch slightly. So inner thighs are squeezing together now instead of apart. Nice and gentle release, grounding the left foot to the mat. Extending the right foot to the sky, knee can be bent, and you're going to grab the inside arch of the foot and then drawing the knee down towards the mat. So it's an open hip and the knee is coming to the side of the torso, and this is half happy baby, right? So we're just gently pulsing with our breath or rocking a little bit, opening up the inner thigh a little more. And then bringing knee back to the center, give it a good squeeze, little circles around. Little compressions of the digestive tract, it's beautiful. And extend right foot to the sky. Let's start with it flexed, and then work on pointing the toe, and then flexing it back, and pointing the toe, and flex, and point. One more time, flex, and point, grabbing behind the hamstring or the calf. Knee can be bent as much as need to. Take an inhale, and on the exhale, lifting the torso up, bringing the forehead up towards the knee. And then flex the foot. Nice little hamstring stretch. Good, slowly lower the torso. Right knee comes back into the chest. Left leg goes long, take a full breath in, and on the exhale, we'll take a supine twist. So right knee will cross over the body. It could be both knees together if that feels better on your spine. And my shoulders are going to ground to the mat, and arms extend out to a T. And to finish that twist, I'm going to gaze to my right hand. So knees are going left, gaze is going right. Unless, of course, it doesn't feel good on the neck, then just gaze to the sky. And let's slowly bring gaze back to the sky. And the knees come back to the center, giving them a good squeeze, little circles with the knees, massaging out the back. Both directions. And then grounding the right foot to the mat, crossing left ankle over right knee. So it's a figure 4. If this is enough stretch for you, stay as you are. If not, slowly bring the right knee in, grabbing behind the right knee. More restorative again would be the right foot pressed against the wall and just resting here without using your arms. Both feet are flexed. That helps to stabilize the knees. All is well. Couple more breaths. in figure 4. And again, you can stay just as you are because it's feeling great. If you want to move into a little bit deeper stretch, or different stretch I should say, crossing the inner thighs together, bending the knees, and then you're grabbing the outside of the shins and drawing the thighs into the chest. To increase it even more, slowly tip the tailbone towards the mat. Good, and gentle release. Right foot's gonna ground. Left knee's gonna bend, and I'm gonna grab the inside arch of this foot. So half happy baby. So you're just drawing the knee down towards the mat and releasing, rocking it side to side. Some people even like to straighten the leg and just stretch out the inner thigh. You find what works for you. Good. And then bring knee center, a little compression with the knee. Squeezing it down towards the lower abdominals and releasing. We do this with babies all the time. When babies are having digestive issues, we do little compressions with the knees to the low belly. All right, let's extend the leg long towards the sky. Can be bent, doesn't make any difference. Start by flexing the toes and then pointing them, and then flexing them and pointing them, and flexing and point and flex and point. Good. Again, knees can be bent if that feels better. Grabbing behind the hamstring or the calf. Take a breath in, and on the exhale, lifting head, neck, and shoulders. Forehead comes towards the knee. Good, and then slowly lowering it down. Knee comes into the chest. Breathing in, moving into that supine twist. So it could be one leg or both legs going across the body over to the right. Shoulders ground, and my gaze is to the left. So my arms are to a T. Knee or knees to the left, gaze to the right. Again, unless the cervical spine through your neck doesn't feel good, then you're gazing up to the sky and not twisting quite as deeply. Couple more breaths, just as you are. Good, and then coming back to the center. The best part of practice, bringing both knees into the chest, bringing the forehead up to the knees. On the inhale, press the shins into the forearms like you're this cosmic egg. Stretching through the thoracic spine, and then slowly open up for your final resting pose. It's called Shavasana. So eyes are resting closed. Get as expansive as you can in the pose, and then just be in a space of pause and silence. Because you're at home, you can stay as long as you'd like in this beautiful resting pose. If you're ready to come out, begin to wiggle fingers and toes, brushing thumbs over fingertips. Shavasana means the death of your practice, and it symbolizes leaving everything that isn't serving you any longer right here on your mat. So I encourage you, before you move into your day, just hit a reset button. And as you move on to your side, when you're ready to come out of it, moving into a space of gratitude. Beautiful gratitude can shift you out of any sort of fear, anxiety, or negative emotion. And when you feel ready, coming to a comfortable cross-legged seat, exactly how we began, only this time palms are going to be facing up on your knees, which is a posture of receiving. And in this moment, I would love for you to offer some gratitude or a loving thought to your community, to your co-workers, your family, your friends. Breathing it in and releasing it out. That's how we can shift the world and make a change and a difference in the world, is just thoughts of gratitude for those around us. Bringing hands in prayer position to your heart center. Guiding love and light from the heart to the third eye center. May you have peace in your thoughts. Prayer hands to your lips, may you have peace in your words. And prayer hands back to your heart, peace in your heart and your actions. Bowing forward to seal in our practice. Namaste, friends. Namaste means the light, and the teacher in me honors the light and the teacher in all of you. And I'm very grateful that you joined me today. This may have been out of your comfort zone, and I really appreciate it. Again, my name is Suzy Schock, and I am from Pure Yoga in Stillwater. And I will be uploading this video to my Pure Yoga YouTube channel, so you can feel free to go back and review it at any time. It's open access to everyone, so you are welcome to look at any of the other videos that we have on there as well. All different levels, all different styles, and I hope that you have just a really blessed day. Thank you.